Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I'm Deplorable Knitter. We have lovely Ann Pinkova. Good morning. It's early, but we're
Morning.
here. Um, Ann's got a ton of British news going on, lots of
Yeah.
stuff. We have a yarn thing that's happening. I'm trying to play with the slides to be cool like Neil and have like pictures come up on the screen. So while I do that, Anne's going to show off our lovely yarn for this month, and we have a winner for the ornament kit, which
We do.
I'm not certain where I put it, but you guys know what it looks like because I've been showing it off for weeks and months. So
Right. To get that out of the way right away, our winner for Chicken Lady Fiber Arts Ornament Kit is Claudia Kyle 178. So if you could go ahead and email us, email links in various descriptions. And
yeah, and send it to deplorableknitter@yahoo.com because that way I'll be sure to send it to you.
right.
I'd like to pretend I checked the other email, but I forgot. So let's just be honest and be safe.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um,
Um,
sorry.
yes.
When Carrie is late, I always say she's on the phone with Gary. Okay.
Got my mug.
Oh, from Nerdrotic. I was thinking
Gary
of
from
Gary
here
Knits,
brought it.
Gary Rides, and I'm like, but we don't like him. Why would
Like,
she be on the phone with him?
but he's so mean and Carrie's so nice.
Yeah,
How did that
Carrie,
happen?
what? Okay, I'm with you. Got it.
All right, got it, got it, got it. Anyways, yeah. Again, Claudia Kyle 178, Chicken Lady
Claudia
Fiber.
Kyle, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Chicken Lady Fiber Arts this month's giveaway is marvelous. And it is the Wyandotte, which is merino cashmere nylon. So it's super fluffy, absolutely beautiful. It kind of reminds me, our lovely friend Anna Knitter, she when she does Halloween colorways, she always throws some pink in there, and this would be awesome for that. And it's just awesome to begin with.
It's really pretty.
It's beautiful.
Hmm.
Anyways, but so you can comment below after the live is done to perhaps win a
After it's
skinny
done.
after it's done. Yes.
That's the
Um,
key.
yes, win a skein of this lovely. And also, and we'll throw in some other goodies too. It'll be fun. Also, check out Chicken Lady Fiber Arts at chickenladyfiberarts.com. October code for 20% off is pizza 20 PIK because October is also National Pizza Month, which is fun. You can get beautiful things such as this colorway. We still have the Knitting Puritanical Fun Run going on. So there is her Blackety Black colorway. And I have a special note to remember. She has another colorway called Ew David, which is black, but it has these white speckles in it, which would be awesome. Yeah, so there's lots of things.
Yeah.
Here.
And if you are part of my Patreon and you're part of the elite tier, you might be receiving a skein of Blackety Black along with some other very cool stuff. It's coming out. Anne left. But it's going to be mailed out next week. There's 2 patterns. There's all kinds of different things. And I'm totally going to. Okay. Yes, what you got?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, speaking of my Patreon, sorry, I'm just going to totally cut in and plug my own thing for a second. If you're a member in November and December of my highest tier, you're going to get an Advent style box. So FYI, if you wanted an Advent, they're too expensive, that kind of thing, you could sign up for it and try it out. So that's all I wanted to say. Sorry. Hey. And it's going to be a surprise, so I can't really show it off, but it's going to be cool and fun. So
nice.
And this is Clementine. She's the little spotlight. She loves to have a lot of attention. So Adam asked. So
fair enough. Oh,
okay. Sorry.
Just
Moving along.
often, but Isom colorway, perfect for fall. Our own colorway, which also has some, dark academic, lovely fall-y vibes. There's I don't have a skein proper, but this is also Chicken Lady's Sweet Maple colorway. Awesome. Again, Pizza 20 PIK. Chicken Lady does good stuff. Anyways.
Fun. I'm still working on this. I think I got it though. Give me a second.
Okay.
I'm still figuring it out. So while we do that, what's new with you? Have you knit anything?
I have actually. It's amazing. And then I didn't stop on like the end of the row, which would have been smart. But I have been knitting Stephen West's Mingling Daisies shawl, which, may become pertinent later.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, it is so pretty. And here, because it has that kind of brindley thing, it is a little more difficult to see, but I particularly love this sort of wicker lace work.
Can I make you big?
Okay.
Are you gonna be mad?
Go ahead.
Oh shoot, she is ripping my skin off.
You have your own.
Oh, I didn't mean to be mean. No. Let's try again. She loves to get on my shoulders. I don't know why. It hurts.
Here, wait, I have something behind, so maybe that will show the lace a little bit better. But it is very
That's pretty.
Here, I'll do that. But yeah, it is beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
Yeah, and I love, my favorite, like I said, the yarn, the lace work I really love. It's kind of like the wicker pattern that they have, that most baskets, like most woven things are, warp and weft. But there's some that, comes from all different directions and creates a circle in the middle. It's like kind of hidden Star of David sort of a look to it. That's what this reminds me of, and I love it. So,
and you're the best. Very cool.
I'm working on that mostly. How about yourself?
I've been working on stuff, but I don't have any of it right here. But you want to see what I bought yesterday? Because I totally didn't have money to buy yarn, so I did.
Go for it. Oh, that's pretty.
I'm in love with these two colors together, and I would not normally pair them, but they're gorgeous. This is Jill Draper Makes Stuff, and be ready to be astonished, people. They're fingering weight. But they're not the fingering weight that's like, oh my God, I can't knit it. Like, I think you could still use like a size 3 and be able to move along with it. So that's okay in my book. Like anything that you have to use like a 2 or below, we're no good. But yeah, so I got these and I shouldn't have, and here I am. And that's okay because I've got all this yarn that still sits there.
Well, and that stuff is very fluffy too. I live in a pile of yarn perpetually, but no, I have some of that, and it is very
really nice. And I think I have another one. This pink one is hers too. So we'll see. I got those. That's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the big fun fancy stuff. Adam says I stand with Blockbuster Video. Yeah, it does have a little bit of that vibe. But that's why it goes so well together, because they're contrasting colors on opposite sides of the wheel. That's how that works.
Right.
I've been helping in my kids' art classes. I've learned a lot.
Though that has a little bit more orange than yellow. The stand with Blockbuster video thing always cracks me up because I'm from the state of South Dakota. And it's really weird because we have almost similar climate and growing conditions to Ukraine, and our flag is also yellow and blue, and our one of our big universities, they're the Jackrabbits, and it's yellow and blue. So
that's cool. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So it's like, oh, do this for Ukraine. I'm like, oh, is it game day? Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm just
but
because
me,
South Dakota doesn't have a real football team. I'm just going to say that too. We do not have one. So like some people get really into the state teams, to the college teams. I mean, there's people who do that.
A lot of places are really in the college teams though. So that's,
what's with those people? Get a hobby like Star Trek. I don't understand.
Like Star Trek. Wow. Okay. I think I can put this up and be cool like Neil. So let's see.
Okay.
Let's see if I can add it to the stream. I'm new. It's my
Hey,
first day.
I see something happening.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to talk about this now, or do you want to talk about Laurence Fox first?
We can talk about this first because
Okay.
there's a lot going on with the Laurence Fox case, but we're also a knitting show and this is a big controversy. So
Yeah. So, here we go. Here's this picture that I took 15 minutes to figure out how to put it up. There you go. So, it is the first clue of the Stephen West Geo, what's it called? Geo something? Knit along? Do you know?
man, it's like I should have paid attention or something.
Everyone, I'm cool.
I think
DK.
it's geometric.
Geometric. Okay. So the Geo shawl knit along that Stephen West is doing, right?
Right.
And
Geo gradient. I'm so sorry.
Geo gradient. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. And
I knew that.
To look that up, I saw a recent post that someone had of, how the Knit Night ladies always joke, it's exploration station.
Yeah.
And they, in a little nicey nice voice, say information modifications, which, spoiler for later on the story, means rewriting digital files so you never get the original. Those good information modifications. And
swastical. Yeah. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. So people have lost their minds because what do we do best? We lose our shit for no good reason. So
tis the knitting wars, which means nobody is normal and everybody gets weird at every opportunity.
Kendra, that's what they call the swastika. That's a stretch. Now, somebody did point out, because I showed it to my husband and I said, babe, what does this look like? And he looked at it and he's looking and looking. I'm like, does it look like any sort of symbol to you? And he came out with the correct answer. And he goes, but not really. And then he's like, dude, if people believe that that's a swastika, then they probably also believe that that old actor dude with the little mustache is also Hitler. And I'm like, are you talking about Charlie Chaplin? He's like, yes, Charlie Chaplin. They must believe that. So I posted it on Instagram, and most people are agreeing with my husband. But somebody did point out that if you were unfortunate enough to use like red, white, and black in your shawl, then yes, you could probably see the resemblance. But then again, you must have internalized Aryan something if those are the colors you chose. Sorry.
I couldn't help myself, especially. Okay, I've said before that a lot of my earlier knitting career was nerd knitting. So I basically lived in a pile of gray and black yarn, knitting red stars for those Bucky Barnes hats, the Winter Soldier thing. You're just told by my face. So Captain America's best friend was
right. I know who he is, right?
Brainwashed by commies. Anyways, so I was like making his hats like nobody's business. So it's like, so you really liked it. Sorry.
Apparently Neil is a closet Aryan because he chose those colors. So there you go. That's all I wanted to say.
But also, okay.
So you're making Bucky Barnes hats. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. A lot of my knitting career, besides, nice things like Trump, is just this endless piles of red stars and Punisher skulls. And, we're hardcore around here. Anyways, but back to that. Okay. The pinwheel design is so basic. Like if you're going to design anything, I've heard some people say St. Bridget's Cross, that it looks like a lot of Celtic designs. It looks like a lot of quilt patterns anyways.
It looks like a quilt block.
And also, okay, it is a modular garter stitch quilt pattern, which happens to be extremely in right now, and I love each and every one of them. Okay, I love all of these garter stitch quilts. I think they're lovely. Stephen West has seen a trend and then he takes it and he ups it. And he
Right.
does multiple color stripes and he does modular from other directions and he has all of this going on. And it's like, oh, well, that's a swastika. It's like, well, if it was a swastika, it'd be more at right angles and, it'd have
Yeah,
so
that's
many
not how that
colors.
actually looks.
And Hugo Boss would have designed it. You gotta go down the line here.
Mhm.
But sorry, you were giggling about something.
So Neil said oh, it didn't come up.
Sorry.
Why aren't my comments coming up? Oh my goodness, something's going on. So Neil said that he's literally Nittler after all. And then, apparently
Here.
there was a lag. Oh, you're doing it. Good. And then this is what made me laugh. I'm goose stepping around the living room with the cats. Because they probably think that's what's happening. But no. So to your point, he saw the modular thing. He started the trend, whatever. And then I was talking to my husband and he goes, it's geometric. He's like, there are only so many geometric patterns that are available. Like at some point, yeah, it might resemble something else, but like you can only put lines and squares and shapes together in so many different ways. And it's not like I love to talk to my husband about this stuff though, because first off, he thinks that most of the knitting stuff is just stupid. Like he doesn't have the patience for it. My husband, I've said it a lot. Don't come to him with problems, come to him with solutions. He doesn't want to hear why your feelings are hurt. He doesn't want to hear that you think somebody said something mean. If you don't have a solution for it, he doesn't want to hear it at all. So like I love to talk to him about stuff because he is so like non-emotional about stuff that he just is like, this is just shit. Like why do people even care? And I think it's great.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's awesome.
Oh, totally. And Tara says he has already been doing the year of modular knitting, but also, okay, so this happens. There's a big stink. His reaction to it sucks. But before we get there, we should.
Sorry.
That's okay. We should also remember that they've been gunning for Stephen West for a while. He is probably the most well-known knitwear designer. I mean, like I would say even competing with, like like Elizabeth Zimmerman type people. His mystery shawl thing is a huge event for a lot of people.
Dude,
people talk about it for months.
If you go on Ravelry, it's already got almost 5,000 projects. Like
Right.
What designer in the first week of their pattern has that many people participating in making it? Like for real. That's amazing.
Right. And I would say too that, I mean, how many knitwear designers he probably has, like, several million, I think he's in England, so pounds. Like he has a very, very successful knitwear industry. That, I mean, there's been other complaints about him that it's like, oh, well, he's just recycling old patterns when he takes it from like a shawl to a sweater or something. But
yeah. Sorry, but Swami Mommy says that her parents were survivors of Auschwitz, and it's absurd. And I'm sure that if that's part of your history, you can be sensitive to these things.
Yeah.
But also, it's like seeing the boogeyman when there's nothing there. Like sometimes it's okay to be upset because it's a really legitimate thing, and sometimes it's just the mob gunning for him, which is the point that Anne's trying to make. Like,
right.
The angry knitters are angry at him because he is successful, because he is a white male. Being gay used to be enough, but now it's not, and so he's one of the hated classes, and so they want to ruin him. And yeah.
And as Tabitha quipped, I believe she's going to be doing a show with Neil. I'm not sure yet, but I kind of heard her go off about it, and she quipped that what Hitler would really hate? A gay man knitting a swastika. So why is he even concerned? Even if it was true, it's the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that goes against what Hitler was about, right? Like, I I don't think that he liked that. So
Probably.
anyway, but yeah,
Um,
Steven's been bullied by him before.
and Stephen has bowed to the mob before.
Well, I wouldn't even
Uh,
say bullied, but they've kind of,
they've been taking pot shots at him.
hmm
Um, but no, that he's promoted Lola Bean yarn. He's given money to Adela's weirdo money for a dying studio expansion thing. That more money the walls scream from Adela. That it's that he's done stuff like this before and promoted different people's products in people who we know harass other knitwear designers, saying basically if you don't support them and promote them, you're racist. He has promoted and supported. Now, you could say it's entirely on merit, which, cool that they are popular people. You might want to work with them.
Yeah.
But there is that kind of
Yeah, no. The, and I was talking last night on the phone, deciding when we were going to record, which, haha, here we are. Um, but that's exactly what she said. Oh, well, he gave $2,000 to Adela to keep her off his back,
Mhm.
and apparently $2,000 wasn't enough. I mean, he's brought more than that. Maybe they're angry about it. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, it's never enough.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. No, but
I'm just gonna throw that in there.
it's never enough to appease people. And
Right?
also that is what he's doing now. So, okay, so this happens. People, I saw some people the first things of the pattern. I got excited because, like I said, I love the modular quilt square thing. And normally, yes, I know. And normally it's like these big Stephen West knit alongs. If it's the mystery ones, I'll wait until later and see if I really like it, because I do like the occasional Stephen West pattern, but normally the more normal ones. But anyways, so I see that, awesome. The potential swastika thing lifts off, and I'm like, what the heck, guys? So Stephen West does this lovely little oh, I'm so sorry, here's a simpler version. And the simpler version looks like crap.
It does. It looks like exactly what it is. Him trying to save his ass in 37 seconds and making a new pattern. How can you do that? I'm sure that this has been test knit. I'm sure that he has been designed. I don't do modular knits. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. But I'm sure that that's not something that you can just be like, oh, let me just fix. No, he has been working on this for a long time.
It's the foundation piece for his shawl. And I also would assume that it's kind of a middle thing. I don't know what the shape of the shawl is, but if this is your first part and it's a square, I'm guessing that there's going to be some modular knits around it. And we don't know what it looks like in the context of the wider pattern either, or what's going on with that.
Maybe it was just a bigger swastika. Maybe that's why he had to make it a square. Sorry.
It keeps expanding. It's just more swastika. But yeah, it's
sorry, I think I'm funny.
It's like more cowbell, but in knitting. It's crazy. So now you made me lose my thought laughing.
I'm sorry.
So anyways, he puts it out. He did have one that was like little squares modular, so was more interesting, but basically it was not as good log cabin design is, the kind of stuff that he put out to replace it. And still people complained, and it was like, oh, you could do either thing, but it became very clear among the people knitting this pattern that basically if you chose the original pattern, you were the bigot. If you said,
You're
actually,
racist now.
that's more pleasing, that's much more pretty pattern, it's more interesting to knit, it's very cool, and again, it's a pinwheel, whatever, and people screaming that it's a swastika is crazy. And also there's lots of test knitters. So clearly they thought it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. And people complaining too, because it's a lot of stripes and it's a lot of ends to cut and oh, my yarn is ruined and stupid stuff. Anyways, so it goes on from that point. The most interesting, not most interesting. So Stephen West has not only been like, no, we're removing the original pattern entirely. I would
At first it was just, we're gonna make a change so people can choose which version they knit.
Right. It's like,
that happened first.
Here's an alternate if you don't like the original. But it seemed that there was enough hostility towards the original and those who would choose to knit the original, which is crazy because it's knitting. But
I'm gonna knit the original.
Do a whole blanket just of the original. It's gonna be,
yeah, just of those squares, because it's a freaking pinwheel. It's not a swastika. People need to get over themselves.
Right.
Anyway. Sorry, I keep interrupting you today.
Don't even worry about it, man. It's morning. Anyway, so all that happens. So then he puts out this bizarro statement saying that the original will be entirely deleted. So if you like bought it online and you haven't downloaded it or printed it or whatever, yeah. Neil says all versions are.
Oh, we both did it. Stop it! You do it.
There. Anyways, that basically the original will no longer exist. We're gonna slap a crappy log cabin in the middle. And I even like a log cabin because I said love those modular garter knits, but we're just gonna do something not as cool. But then he said that anybody defending the original pattern and saying that they liked the original pattern, that there are people from Germany who say the original pattern they don't see it, that there's people of various backgrounds, including German and Hindu and Jewish, who are all like, nah, man, it's fine, don't make it weird. All those people's comments were deleted because they were considered to be undermining the suffering and the sensitivities of others, and that in the post we should follow West Knit's example, who have apologized and shut up about it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of apologizing or shutting up. And here's a good little, once you bend the knee, they go for the jugular, because that's what they do. They want to tear you down until you're too scared to be going against them.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, so Mr. West is going to shut down all dissent. That's his way through it, which is super fun. So anyways, it's insane. It's insane that he's deleting it. It's insane that this is the way he's going after this. He's made it so much worse for himself, basically, to bow into this controversy. I don't know, that this is the kindness brigade. The kindness brigade is, let's not talk it out. You shut up.
Yeah. And if you dare to have a different opinion, then like, you are wrong, you are evil, go away.
Mm-hmm.
But
Clementine agrees.
Clementine does agree. She is being real mouthy today. I don't know what's up with her.
She has a lot of Stephen West opinions.
She agrees that it is not a swastika. That's why. So
she really likes it. She's invested in your quilt.
All right, I'll make her a quilt. Okay. Anyway.
Bless you.
So, yeah, no, but it's crap. It's all crap. And anytime that they say, oh, hey, I'm offended, and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm going to change it. And there's a lot of people in the comments saying, I want to buy the pattern now. If you buy the pattern now, I'm pretty sure that you will get the updated version. Mm-hmm. So unless you have a friend or something that already has the original version, you're out of luck, unfortunately. So Adam and his jokes. Adam, we'll all get sent to Hillary's re-education camps. Yeah. And Kendra says she doesn't feel sorry for him anymore. And I kind of agree. Like, it's
That's fair. And okay, I get trying to save your backside,
Mhm.
but also he is the oppressor he's fighting. Like,
Yeah.
and I know it's sort of like a, if people are so fragile. Hey, Tabs, come on in. Uh, anyways, that people are so fragile and that they, that the thought of a, a potential similarity to a symbol, that's it, that's over, that's the end thing. There's a lot of Nazi symbolism, a lot of different places. No one is doing, Porsche cars, eagles with circles. You know,
There's a lot of
Hugo Boss
things.
still around.
Well, isn't Volkswagen too part of it?
Yep.
Wasn't what's her name who was so stupid? Oh, I'm getting rid of my Tesla because I hate Elon Musk and I'm going to get a Volkswagen.
Yeah,
You're
because
so
Elon
dumb.
Musk is a fascist.
And now you're buying stuff from literal fascists. So good luck.
Well,
Godspeed.
literal fascist.
Well, they're not anymore. They were.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Just to clarify, literal fascist origins. If you're upset
Yes,
with Elon
yes.
Musk, then yeah,
we could knit way more offensive things if we wanted to. So I think that the problem with Stephen West is that I wonder how many people actually got mad about the swastika thing. Like, how many do you think really saw it and got angry? A few? Now it's a thing. If he had just ignored them, nobody would have known. It would have been fine. But now he's got people like us who are normal who are like, you're being an idiot. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hurt him. I don't know.
Well,
100 people? Yarn Chicken and Shit says 100 people. I don't know if that's in response to how many. But anyway.
Yeah, as Tabitha says, none of his testers saw it. And also, one of the few yearly knitting events is Stephen West's shawl. Even as someone who doesn't play along at home, it's always yeah, exactly.
That's my favorite.
Win stupid prizes. I mean, like I said, even as someone who doesn't play along at home, if nothing else but watching Tabitha knit the whole thing and complain, the Stephen West mystery shawl is always a good time. But we can't have nice things or fun things or, decadent wastes of expensive yarn, as I would say some of his shawls are. But
they are.
Fun. It's like knitting is fun or something.
Yeah, and Kendra's right too. Here, look, it's I designed it, and you're evil if you knit it. That is the problem too, because if he designed it and he's saying it's bad, but he didn't see it and his testers didn't see it, then it's just lip service. He is just full of crap.
Yeah, he's making his own design your problem.
Mm-hmm. Like, get over it, man. So I don't know.
Right.
But. Man. I had to turn off the fan. It's cold here today.
Yeah, we've switched to winter ourselves.
Winter?
Well,
don't you get a fall?
Fall is
not really
like
such a thing.
Fall is like the Sunday evening of seasons. There was actually some snowflakes yesterday morning, and it was our first real cold day. Not like real snowflakes, but like a couple to just kind of remind you that it's coming.
It's too early for that. Yeah. Swami Mommy says she doesn't do the mystery until it's done because you might hate it. Yeah. And then what was this one? He's normally all about making changes and stuff, but now you must knit the shit design and like it. Yeah, pretty much. That's the part that gets me, really. It's that because somebody got mad, now nobody can enjoy it. That's the liberal philosophy, though. Oh, I don't like it, so I'm going to punish all of you for it. Like, whatever.
Exactly. This complaint might destroy my career in the knitting world. So if you mention it, you're dead to me.
Yeah. Freaking nonsense.
So yeah, so various knitters are divided about this. Some are just gonna knit it the original way. Neil says demand your
Money back?
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Which
a good
also makes
idea.
sense.
Um, I'm going to it's a teeny tiny little fiber festival today, but maybe I'll go around asking if they have geo gradient shawls, kits for my Nazi shawl I'm gonna make. I don't think anybody would get my joke, but I'll think it's funny.
Well, and the thing is, okay, how many people who are not terminally online like the rest of us just got their original thing knitted up and are going to continue to knit it up? You know,
Mhm.
how many people who are like, yeah, whatever, don't even know it's a thing. You know, don't
Right.
follow Stephen West on Instagram or, Twitter or whatever. Don't care, aren't a
You
part of the
know,
online knitting world. And
I
they're
knew a
gonna
little.
they're gonna get it later.
Yeah, no, I knew a little bit about this yesterday, but I was in a local yarn shop, and it's a liberal yarn shop, but I've come in like wearing my deplorable knitter stuff, and nobody has ever made me feel unwelcome or anything. So I continue to go there.
Yeah.
There's a few yarn people that they carry that I won't buy just because we're so on different sides. But they had a big sign up that said that they were doing knit nights for the Geo Gradient shawl, and I wish I had known that this was going on. But I think I knew about it on Thursday, but then I was at co-op all day yesterday, and I didn't know that it had gotten bigger until I talked to Anne after school. But I would have loved to ask her, like, what's going on? What's going on with this? What do you guys think? You know what I mean? Just to see what they say. Because even though she's liberal, she doesn't strike me as like a pitchfork and torch kind of person. Like, I don't, she's never struck me as like, I'm going to string you up because you don't agree with me. So I'm just
That's true.
curious.
And okay, again, I don't know this one. Maybe she's totally cool, but there is a certain amount of my side says this, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
We seeing that in the Canadian Parliament, um, where they applauded an actual SS member because he was a Ukraine soldier during World War II fighting the Russians. How great! What side? What side were you fighting the Russians on in World War II? That's crazy. So Justin Trudeau and the rest of them are actually standing and applauding this man. And a lot of it is it's the Canadian Parliament. What are you thinking? It's like, well, everybody else was standing and clapping, and you don't want to be seen to be on the wrong side of things, don't you? I'm like, that was a
Right.
literal Nazi, a real one. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah. That's insane. And then Tabitha said that a lot of Jewish people are saying that they're knitting and they're being called Nazis. Like, the word doesn't mean what it used to mean because obviously people do not understand language. And if they're Jewish, they probably weren't Nazis because that's kind of who the Nazis didn't like. Like, once again, I'm not the smartest person that you're ever going to meet, but also pretty sure that's how that works. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe the Canadian Parliament would love the shawl. And then also, Adam, it's a knitted Rorschach test. Could it be that Nazis see a swastika? So
Maybe.
maybe that's what it is. Anyway, I think we've beat that subject. So
Right.
something has happened to Laurence Fox, and Anne is just exploding about it, and I have to know. So
I am. Actually, several things had happened to Laurence Fox this past week. Like, thing one was enough of a segment. But spoiler alert, thing two was he got arrested for nothing. So let's dig into that. So this past week, or maybe a week and some days. Anyways, this past week. So Laurence Fox was on Dan Wooten's show on GB News. Dan Wooten's show is the late night show that used to be on after Mark Stein, but then they booted Mark Stein, as we recall, for questioning vaccines. And Yeah, and then they reorganized his contract after his initial 2 heart attacks. So it basically, it was a shut up and take it contract, but also it made him liable for certain things. And it was basically them saying, we don't want you and your trouble anymore on the quote, home of free speech. So that
Makes sense, right?
yeah,
Free
yeah,
speech
yeah,
only if we like your free speech, though. So,
right.
and everybody got mad at him, in case you don't remember, because somebody, it was a woman, right? She said something, and then he said he would have sex with her.
He wouldn't, which
Oh,
is the
okay.
problem. That
Oh,
no GB News presenters are allowed to say no anymore. It's a crazy system, especially after Russell Brand was canceled for saying yes too much. But also everyone, anyways, Russell Brand aside, not actually
right. No,
connected,
no. Laurence
but
Fox.
also quote wrong thinking media figures who are attacked for nothing, but they seem to be attacked for opposite nothings, unless the Russell Brand thing happens to be something. But if it happens to be something, there should be a legal case against it. Okay, ta-da, push. Okay,
Okay.
so Laurence Fox, who is on Dan Wooten's show.
She mocked male suicide, and then he said he wouldn't have sex with her, and then everybody got real mad at him.
Kind of getting to that point.
Okay. Sorry. I will be quiet now.
It's okay. All right. So, anyways, Dan Wooten's show, Laurence Fox. There's this gal called Ava Evans. So she is on a show, and they're talking about male suicide numbers. And there's this guy right next to her, and he is being as nice as possible, and talking about how the highest cause of death in England for young men is suicide. And she is sitting there and she is dismissing him at every single thing. And he's like, during lockdown, it was a huge problem. And she's like, oh, but it was a bigger problem for women because, they had to do the housework. And it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, why? And he was saying that there's a minister for women, which I think is pretty stupid, but okay, there's a minister for women. Why isn't there a minister for men? Why aren't we talking about these issues? And then she's like, oh yes, I'm very into talking about mental health. It was like your own mental health, honey, maybe should be examined. And it's that she's very rude and she's very dismissive about male suicide. And so Laurence Fox is brought on Dan Wooten's show, as Stein wrote in his column, to do dumb shtick. Like, that is a lot of the political commentary job, is to sit there and do dumb shtick. And that's his thing. So he's talking about that. And he basically says, what a horrible woman. Also, it's after the watershed, which it is. And she's like, so I'm going to say this. And he makes a flippant joke because this woman is horrible and she's not a serious person. Why should you have to take her seriously? So he does this thing. It's like, no, she's, that she's awful. And if you were in a bar and this woman came up to you, just like, I'd run away, I'd leave. And the line that got him is, who'd want to shag that? Just like, no. Talking about male suicide, but he's also like, men out there, don't get together with women like that. They're awful. They are just dreadful. And
Right.
if not much of this is public, but if you get any hints from his previous relationship with Billie Piper, Laurence Fox knows the damage that horrible women can do. So he's making this joke. Dan Wooten laughs. We move along. Megyn Kelly, who also interviewed Laurence Fox, was in studio at the time. She's like, nah, that's fine. That's funny. We all move along from here. So then the storm begins, because that comment is now considered just horrible and beyond the pale, and how dare we all, for making a joke that would not even be a pause line on, a YouTube show such as Friday Night Tights. If Chrissy Mayer had said that, there would be a half pause and not even a full laugh. that this is, and I know there's different general standards for TV versus the internet, not to mention Ofcom, but it's like this is innocuous. This is happening. So Laurence Fox is booted off GB News like that for this statement. Dan Wooten is basically forced into an apology, and he messaged Laurence Fox saying, sorry, man, I got to do this. But he does. Laurence says, you texted me afterwards, showing receipts, saying, laughing about this still. So Dan Wooten's show is deleted and canceled off. Calvin Robinson, who is another commentator, he comes out and says, hey, I appear constantly on Dan Wooten's show, and I won't anymore unless Dan Wooten is the host of the Dan Wooten show. Again, this is a Twitter post that he has, and he is immediately kicked off GB News. And they put this little statement out saying, pending investigation, like, Calvin Robinson, who is, a priest. This maybe, did he harass people? Did he do this? Did he do that? If you hadn't seen Calvin's Twitter, it's like, no, he said he wouldn't appear. So they said, oh yeah, we fired you and we find you suspicious.
Yeah. We're fired you, and now we're going to do some digging until we find something that we can justify your firing. Mm-hmm. Like, it's messed up.
No, exactly. So all of this happens, but kind of a big issue with all of this. Oh, mm-hmm. And also not to mention that there was, I forget the lady's name, but she's a lady as in she has a British title. So again, language, but she went on someone else's show and said, oh man, Laurence Fox is a dick. And it's like, wow, that really elevated this conversation. I can't mm-hmm. believe that, we're just like trading pejoratives. This is some really hard-hitting journalism here that we're really doing good stuff. And Stein wrote a thing about it. He just had like another mini heart attack and another stint. So he's kind of half propped up and still working through this, but he wrote an article, absolutely excellent. You should go read it. Stein online, Stein with a Y. Go, because the man's still hilarious, even though he's limping along, poor man. But he's talking about like, look, all of these people who were too reasonable to leave GB News, and all of them who are worried about their jobs and worried about this and worried about that. And when Stein was thrown off for something proper, on his show, they were talking about vaccine harms, and he was thrown off for that. And he is doing a court case now against Ofcom saying, no, I was right. And I will prove in court that Ofcom says you're not allowed to say anything questioning medical issues. And he says, not only am I questioning medical issues, but more people would be alive now if our TV regulators had allowed us to question these issues. Mm-hmm. And you won't. And I'm, doing a counter procedure in court. That is what we're doing. And he's like, and all of these nice, oh, well, but GB News is the home of free speech. It's like, yeah, but they bent then, and now they kicked you off for a stupid shag comment now. Mm-hmm. Like, why couldn't you see this coming with a lot of people? That it's like, hello, just guys, hurry up, do the thing now. And also, this is out of left field. We'll come back to Laurence Fox, but okay, that so many people, when Laurence Fox said this, immediately did this little like half ascent into, like, first off, Laurence Fox did an apology. Always a mistake. Look, I know he's a sweet, sensitive guy and all, but really that he'd be like, oh, well, and when he was on Megyn Kelly's show afterwards, and this was after he had been arrested and clearly a bit beaten down here, that you could see the half sob of, no, I shouldn't have said it this way. I undercut my point. I should have, taken this unserious woman. I should have taken it seriously and talked seriously about male suicide. Like, she isn't worth it. Okay. She's a non-media figure who's atrocious. Okay. She's horrible to people. She doesn't care about people. Poor poor bleeding heart, and I mean this in a positive way, I guess, Laurence Fox, he's just like so sad that he's not like helping people more through their issues, but he's making this sort of light joke about, how that she's not someone that anyone would want to pick up in a bar. Okay, fine. But the poor guy's like, oh, I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Okay. And then immediately the trigonometry guys and everything, they did an interview. So good for them. But they were all like, oh, well, you shouldn't have said it. We all agree you shouldn't have do it. Meyer Toozy, who he's a independent British journalism. You may know him as the handsome Iranian. I mean, if you've seen him, you've looked twice. Like, he's a good looking dude. But he did this little like half fumbled thing, saying like, oh, well, you can't expect serious commentary from Laurence Fox. I mean, he's my friend, but I'm like, this is not the time, buddy. He's getting attacked from all sides, and you're going to go like, oh, well, that's Laurence, but, this is really bad, news for him to be kicked off his show and his income when he's going through court cases like everybody else, because the process is the punishment. So, also, I just want to point out, okay, so this is the political world. A couple weeks ago in the nerd sphere, there's this guy, his name is it's from Heel versus Babyface. There was a huge controversy because, okay, he did this rant video about a video game called Starfield. And Starfield, when you create your character, it's all about your pronouns and other stuff. Not all about, it's a portion of it. And then it becomes part of a game because it's a woke gaming company. Okay. And I know that there's a lot of bad language in gaming world, but in this clipped of his video, there is so many F words that if you're not like paying close attention, you really don't understand what exactly that's directed at. Like, that is that much language that he has in this video. Okay, but he says the essence of his point was, I'm tired of the pronouns. I'm tired of I want to sit down and I want to play this new space video game. I don't want to be sucked out of it to be current dayed and have it that bludgeoned over my head with the current day social issue that you want to tell me, and when I want to escape into this fantasy world. That was his basic point. And also, it's not just that there's because a lot of people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't complain about the pronouns. And he says, no, and not only that, but if you mod the video games, like there's ways to, change things in the video game. So like, you're wearing a silly hat or whatever else. But one of the mods that you can do is for like dialogue and stuff. So if you want to take the pronouns out of the game, you are deleted from the modding community. The company takes such an issue with that you are banned from these forums. Anyways, so it's a big free speech issue. It's a big compelled speech issue. This is all in gaming. Okay, all of that happening. But here's the thing. That happened, and all of Az's buddies immediately rallied around. All of the Friday Night Tights people, geeks and gamers, Jeremy, everybody, Dan Vask, who clipped the original video, they were all like, hey man, we're here, we're your friends. There was a big discussion about this. There was some people who said, nah, he's taking this too much, saying that it's pronouns. And there was some people saying, I get his point, but also I'm going to play the game anyways because I don't think it's a big enough deal. There was this discussion going on, and then there's the leftist side who were, death threats and lollipops, as they always are, that they took this a normal way. But all of this happened. But here's the thing. His friends totally stood with him through all of that. Okay. As was already on the cancellation side, if this is, recanceling, then they all said, no, man, we're with you. We're staying with you. I don't think, like I mentioned the language thing, I don't even think anybody said that it was inappropriate language that I even saw. But that happens. His buddies rally around. Laurence Fox makes an innocuous comment to get back to the point, and all of his friends half throw him under the bus. Like, oh, we're here for you, Laurence, except not really.
Yeah.
Except, it's like, oh, but, I mean, what he did say was inappropriate, except how many, there's a million other things that other people say on the other side of the political spectrum all day, every day. Ava Evans, it's like, oh, well, the shag comments beyond the pale. Ava Evans says stuff like that on her Twitter all the time. He's replying in kind, and he's the one booted. Okay. So all of that with Laurence Fox. So sorry, I'm ranting, but yeah, Tara says, which is a pity because, and poor Laurence now, this is on Megyn Kelly's show, but poor Laurence now is kind of at the point where he's questioning if it's even worth it because, the left are organized and the right beg for their jobs. And I, sometimes me in the audience is like, that's why you need a fellowship. That's why you need people to stand in your corner, and why even we as an audience need to stand with people and stand with people vocally when it comes to these things. And this is not necessarily to do the first point with Stephen West, because, he's kind of digging his own grave there. But to say, hey, I don't, people are loud on the internet. And the internet is not always real life, but can have real life repercussions. But sometimes you need that certain level of, hey, I think you're fine. I think they're overreacting, and I'm going to say something. And I'm going to stand with you. And like I said with the Laurence versus Az thing, it's like, look, if this is not the time to make little personal remarks when you're being attacked. This is time to circle the wagons. This is time to say, hey, man, I may not agree with everything, but I'm on your side. And don't make the I may not agree with everything comment bigger than everything else, because that's not the point. The point is that I'm with you. And yeah, anyways, so all of that happens. Laurence Fox is kicked off GB News. We have all that. Okay. On Wednesday, Laurence Fox had 6 cops show up to his house. Okay, and this is the most absurd situation, because not only did 6 cops show up to his house, and they searched it because he mentioned support of the Blade Runners. Okay, the Blade Runners are those in London who they have the new ULEZ security cameras, which basically, if they see a car before the year of 2007 on the road, that they will snap a picture, take the license plate, and fine you, basically tax you, carbon tax you for being on the road at all. This is part of the 15-minute cities. This is a global surveillance state, basically under the thing of climate change, which climate change isn't a proven thing. But not only is it not a proven thing, you can't have a debate on it. Like so many things now, you can't talk about it. You can't disagree. You can't dissent. It's been decided by Sadiq Khan, if you are in London, that a 15-minute city is a great idea, and you should walk, and you should not have technology beyond you surf, such as wanting to drive around in an older car. Okay, so these people, the quote Blade Runners, they are cutting down these traffic cameras, and they've got. Sorry.
Just keep talking.
Okay, sorry. And they've gotten like about a third of them down. Like they have been really successful in this, and also this is the way. That is how you stop it, because there was other climate change things like it. Like I believe it was Oregon actually, that they had like boxes in your cars that they're like, no, we're going to do this for climate change to see how much you drive, and people were ripping them out. And that's what what else do? You dissent. And if you dissent in, in saying no to a surveillance state under the guise of stupidity, then, I mean, that is how you do it. So Laurence Fox, he's on I'm gonna get his name wrong, but man named Medid on his show, and he is talking about like, no, he supports the Blade Runners and he is with them. And famous last words, he's like, if I'm arrested for this, then fine, but this we got to fight this, because once you're in a surveillance state, that's it, man. We are in more serious trouble. So they send 6 cops to his house. They search his house like he has hedge trimmers in the upstairs bedroom. Okay, they search his house while he's sitting there, and he's recording this, and he put it on Twitter. And all of this is going on. And he also, he said later, while his house is being searched, and they confiscated all of his devices and all of his kids' devices and everything else, that they said that the radio was going off, and this literal, hey, knife crime. And the cops are like, no, we're busy. It's like, hey, suicide, or attempted suicide. You should go to, like, no, we can't, because we need 6 people to harass Laurence Fox, because we, he is clearly a wrong thinker that needs to be punished, but also because they can't catch the rest of them. And if we throw a little intimidation attack the way towards the Blade Runners, then maybe they will stop. And also, this is the type of intimidation technique that they don't use for, again, things like knife crime, things like, abused women. Like, it's something stupid, like, the amount of crime that runs rampant. Rape is not worth reporting, basically, because it's not going to get solved. That you have all of these issues in England right now, and it's like, no, what we need is to send 6 people to arrest Laurence Fox, and arrested for conspiracy to vandalize property. That is what it is. And also, as mentioned by Megyn Kelly, you actually need to have communication between people in order to do conspiracy, not to make a general statement of, I think this is a good thing. This is a good thing in order to stop the issue. And all that. And Laurence Fox was saying, so there he is arrested. He is in prison. And like, one of the cops comes in like, oh yeah, we support you, Laurence. And he's like, I'm still in jail. And, this is, and he was being very kind about it. He's like, that, some people have it much worse, I'm sure. But also, he is in jail as a political prisoner. To politically harass people as the leader of an actual opposition political party who has a member in parliament now, Andrew Bridgen, that he is being thrown in jail. And also, when he was talking with Megyn Kelly about it, and okay, we do this a lot in America and then back and forth with various Commonwealth countries, that Megyn Kelly basically did the, hey, it's okay, man. And if things get rough, you can stay at my house. Come to America. There'll be stuff there. But here's the thing, that America this week, with Trump's kids and having Trump business taken away, having, non-crimes, having the Attorney General bring forth a civil suit about Mar-a-Lago, saying that they overappraised Mar-a-Lago for loans that have already been paid back. And that is reason to bring court cases to Trump. Okay, we are in the children of the opposition are getting their businesses and things taken away, and all of that means less money to then fight it in court. And the son of the president, we have, cocaine and underage hookers and, hush money international business deals. And that is okay. Okay, we have these huge contrasts there. We have these huge contrasts, again, in England, in Canada, in New Zealand and Australia, and all of these places where we would think would be nice places to live. And we do need to turn and fight it. And I don't know, there's a certain level. Okay, on one hand, I get leaving. On the other hand, that it's only lost when you say it's lost, and that there's a certain demoralizing element that they wouldn't be trying to harass you out of your opinion if you weren't in some ways efficient. But yeah, you can tell Laurence Fox is a little broken down about it, poor man. But yeah, it's an issue. Anyways, sorry, that's all of that. And yeah, other things. Our FBI now considers all Trump supporters to be worthy of a watch list. And you're like, oh, well, that probably doesn't mean me to be on a watch list. But the funny thing about that is that you don't need to be on a watch list until it becomes expedient for people. So that's cool. Sorry, that was a big old rant.
It's okay.
And assassination attempts on the quote right-wing opposition of Germany. That's cool. Super neat. It's a week before election.
I missed that.
Yeah. Sorry. That's the news from abroad.
Mm-hmm.
I ranted for a while. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I don't follow Laurence Fox, so I didn't have much to say. So that's crazy. It's amazing, though, that by saying that you wouldn't have sex with somebody or, take her home from a bar, that it led to all that.
Mm-hmm.
So go figure. So what do you got on tap for the rest of the weekend? Anything exciting?
No, we're all chill here. We're yeah.
I'm gonna go do a dress fitting. We're putting the bustle in today. As long as the top fits the way it should, which she keeps losing weight. But it's my cousin, so we're allowed to yell at her. It's not like a regular bride. And then we're going to a fiber festival. And my kids aren't home. So it's been a fabulous, not fabulous because they aren't here, but it's nice to not have to worry about what other people are doing.
Right.
Kendra asked about Gates and McCarthy. Yeah. He was ousted as speaker. Gates nominated Trump. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I haven't watched the news since Wednesday, so I knew when that was happening, but now I don't know if anything new has happened. I saw a second that said Trump was going to go for it, but I just don't see Trump going for it. So any opinion on it, Anne?
Yeah, I saw Trump said I'd accept that nomination, but I think he also said that he'd be, I don't know, he endorsed or whatever Jim Jordan. So
so
good.
Cool. Well, it's been fun. I have to go do the wedding dress thing, go to the festival, which it's raining here, so hopefully it's not too yucky and there's indoor vendors because otherwise I'll be cold. Yeah. So I think that's good, right, guys? So.
Thanks, and Israel has declared war. We forgot that.
Oh, bit. Yeah. We'll get more on that later. Don't worry. Yeah. We have a Tuesday night show coming up, so hopefully some more things will have progressed and we'll have more information about them. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, enter to win the Chicken Lady yarn.
Yes.
It's beautiful pinky color.
Oh, yes, I'll show it. It's lovely. It's so soft. It's so nice. I just want to rub it on my face, but I don't want to get stuff on it.
Yeah, no, don't. But
that'd be gross. This yarn is for you.
I was at the yarn store smelling the yarn and I was like, do people think I'm weird? Because it was a real lanolin one. It was like a
yeah.
And so I was like, does this really smell like sheep? And then I was like, oh, people might think I'm a bizarre person. It's all right.
But Joe Biden sniffing the yarn.
Get some Chicken Lady Fiber Arts yarn. Use the code PIK. No, pizza 20 PIK
Pizza 20
Pizza
PIK
20 PIK.
for 20% off your order.
Yes. And comment after this video is not live so that you can be entered. And if you were the winner, email me.
Yep. If you are Claudia Kyle, go ahead, email her. Yeah, check out Chicken Lady stuff. She's got Halloween yarns in. It's fantastic. She has new colorways all the time. Sign up for her newsletter. Yeah.
Yep.
Her
So.
her advent calendars will be coming out soon. I'm very excited for that.
Yep. Exactly. So, all right, join us on Tuesday. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming this morning.
Yep. Tuesday
right,
at 5 Central. See you then.